Good evening or good afternoon, depending where you are, friends. This is the Roaming Prepper channel. I'm your host, Pete. And once again, we're going to talk about some of the goings on in the world. In particular, today's video title is what exactly happened and why aren't we hearing more? So, what exactly did happen, and what do I think? I'll be right back. It's just something that goes in line with what a lot of us have been talking about. And it's another one of those situational awareness things. This one kind of concerns me because it brings up some bigger issues in our society that the politicians are really ignoring. I'll be right back and let's talk about it. Hey, welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining me once again. As always, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you have any questions. And I don't make it to my own premiere, which does happen from time to time. Put them in the comments below the video, and I'll try to respond to everybody after. Of course, you can always email me at theroamingprepper@gmail.com. So, what exactly happened? Well, recently there was an attempted incursion into Marine Corps Base Quantico. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Quantico Base, it is located just outside of Washington, D.C. It's one of the central bases for the United States Marine Corps. As a matter of fact, among the commands, and I'm reading them off a list right now, Training and Education Command, the Air Facility Security Battalion, Community Services, the Marine Corps University, the Warfighting Labs, the Manpower and Reserve Affairs. We also have Cyberspace Operations Group, the Marine Corps Intelligence Units, as well as the Embassy Security Group. These are a lot of important units. Helicopter Squadron 1, which has Marine 1, when the president's on that helicopter, that's their helicopter. 4th Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion, Information Operations Center, and believe it or not, they share facilities with the DEA and the FBI Academy. A lot of things going on at Quantico Marine Corps Base. So, what exactly happened? Well, in order to better explain it, I'm going to share the screen with you just so you guys and girls can kind of see what I'm talking about here. There we go. Boop. So, two people in ICE custody after attempting to breach the Marine base in Virginia. Now, if you remember in 2023, we had a guy try to basically drive through, I believe it was Pensacola, drive through the gates, and he hit the the bollards and the barricades, and he broke his vehicle. And then he got shot up too. Surprisingly, they didn't kill him, but they shot the hell out of that car. Here we go, Washington. Two people were placed in custody of U.S. immigration officials after they tried to drive a delivery truck past security guards and onto a Marine Corps base in Virginia. It turned out to be Quantico, as you continue. The incident occurred May 3rd when two people drove up to the Fuller Road gate of the Marine Corps base Quantico in a box truck and was stopped by sentries. And when asked, the operator of the truck informed the military police officers they worked for a company subcontracted by Amazon and were making a delivery to the post office located in the town of Quantico. Because the two had no affiliations with the Marine base and no credentials to enter, the officers directed them to a holding area for a lookover. Um, at this time, one of the officers noticed the driver ignored the instructions and attempted to drive onto the base. Officers were able to deploy vehicle denial barriers and detain the individuals. So they make it look no one was injured when any vehicle and its occupant failed to comply with the clear direction of the on duty MPs or police officers. They are authorized to take action. Now, they also mentioned in March, a Chinese national forced his way through the gate at Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, 29 Palms, California. There was also an incident in 2023. So, why is this significant? Um, because if they say move to this holding area and you don't, you are clearly violating the rules. Now, another article indicates that the individuals, one was a Jordanian national, and the other one may have been on the terror watch list. Now, this comes from unaffiliated and unnamed sources and other articles. Now, the weird thing is, we just had an attempted breach of a major military base, and nobody wants to talk about it. That should concern the hell out of everyone. Now, why do you say that? Well, because they're trying to breach the base. Let's think about it. We have about 2 million full time, maybe 3 million full time military in America. And I believe 3.5, 4 million if you add the reserves. My numbers may be off. They're estimating over 20 million migrants have entered the country. Um, that's a lot of human beings entered the country. Now, obviously, not all of them are terrorists, but if even a million are terrorists, they literally outnumber some of our military units in some states, which just blows my mind. But the question is, why are we not hearing about this? I have a personal take. So there are a few things I think are going on here. One, if it was an attempted terrorist attack, and I was tipped off about this by Hayes grade prepper actually because he's still involved in the military. Um, the If these guys were trying to deliberately breach, and it wasn't some stupid misunderstanding, and clearly it wasn't. If they got detained and then turned over to ICE, and ICE has arrested them and is quarantining them. So, one, they deliberately tried to get through the base, which means they kind of knew the protocol to get on the base, right? They were trying to actually pretend to be an Amazon truck. Why would we not talk about this? Well, one, if it was an actual terror attack, the military and the FBI and the other agencies may not want to tip off that they know it. They're just saying they were detained because they may be getting valuable information from the two idiots they caught. Two, it's an embarrassment. Okay. Um, we have individuals trying to access our military bases all over the country, Middle Eastern and Chinese, and we're not doing anything about it. It just keeps happening. It's only a matter of time. Three, it doesn't go with the narrative because it's like, oh, well, all these poor people from all over the world, they're coming here and doing bad shit. Right? We have our own assholes doing bad shit. We don't need to import more to do more bad shit. What I find curious is the cartel members from, say, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Venezuela are not trying to break into military bases. It's either Chinese or Middle Eastern, specifically from countries that do not like us. This is a problem. What concerns me, and if you look at what just happened in Houston with the storms, which I'll discuss in another video, they took, we had storms, hurricanes, floods, 100-mile-an-hour wind, took down large energy towers, the big transmission lines, and in doing so, literally put 1 million people in Houston out of the 3.5 that live there in the dark. Now it's been 4 days, 5 days at the time of this recording that's happened. We have friends in Houston because I lived there for 15 years, and my wife is hearing from her friends that they're being told they will not have power for 14 days. Nobody has spoken with us about the effect on water treatment or other stuff. If these guys and these people can attempt to access military bases that are secure, that have police and vehicle deterrent barriers and all this other stuff, well, guess what doesn't have a vehicle deterrent barrier is our power grid, our water supply. You can drive, you just Google where your water tanks are or your water plant is, and you can drive right by. All you need is some bad player to do something like that. They can hack it or they can destroy one. Either way, the end result's the same. You deny an entire area water. Now, resources have to be put into that area to get that running. I honestly believe a lot of what we're seeing now are precursor attacks to something else going on. I've been saying this for a while, a lot of us have. I'm not clairvoyant by any means, but these are the kind of things we need to be mindful of. Think about what would happen if somebody executed a successful terror attack on multiple military bases at once. That would absolutely throw us into chaos, and more importantly, would give the government an excuse to shut us down, restrict our rights, restrict our speech, and probably give them an excuse to start trying to remove 2A rights. That's just my take. The bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, why are they not talking about it? I'll tell you why, because either one, they're trying not to give up too much intel, two, it's an embarrassment, or three, it doesn't go with the narrative that they're currently pitching, that all these people coming here are nice. By the way, at least one of the two individuals caught was confirmed to have come through the southern border, never showed up for his hearing, imagine that, and meandered off into the sunset. And now we catch them trying to break into a military base. So what do? Right? Most of us don't live on a military base. Secure your neighborhood. Understand who does or does not belong. Every town, every city, every neighborhood has its own pulse. It has its own way of behaving, living, the sounds, the people, the goings on. Understand what's around you. When you go for a walk, don't wear your headset. Leave your radio off, or leave your headset to where you can hear ambient sound. Get used to the sounds of your neighborhood, the people in your neighborhood. Understand what should or shouldn't be out of place in your area, because that tips you off. If you start seeing things out of place, that tips you off that something may be going on. Also, if there are attacks, having food, water, and the fundamentals will allow you to hunker down in place and clear the streets so the responders and the agencies can go get the bad guys. If you're out wandering around, you actually become a pain in the ass. You block roads, you get in the way of other things they're trying to do. Keep in mind, during the Boston bombing and the marathon, a lot of people got locked in their houses. They got run off the streets because the cops didn't know where these two guys were. And they were going house to house, checking on neighbors, asking to walk through people's yards so that they would know that house wasn't a threat or didn't contain a threat. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is really weird. The Potomac local newspaper actually says it appears they covered it up, and that elected officials are now questioning, why is there not more going on? Why are we not talking about this more? Because this is concerning. And again, if they can get onto a military base, they can get into our power plants, they can get into our grocery stores and equally do harm. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay frosty, not a reason to panic, but a reason to understand our situation in the US, Canada, and Mexico is evolving. It is evolving, and it's not for the better right now. Understand what goes on in your area, understand who your players are, your resources, and if you need to bug in, have the basics you need to stay at home and stay off the streets. And also, as always, secure your home, because it's really easy for a bad guy to hide in someone's house if they can get into your house in the first place. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this one. Just something to think about. If any of you hear anything else you want to share, please feel free to email me. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on the way out the door. Until next time, God bless, Godspeed. I will see you all on the next video. You guys be frosty out there. Take care.